thing you can have. Even though it's cold this time of the year, the surface temperature is not relative to where those fish are at. You know, even 6, 8 feet down, 10 feet down where his crankbait's at, that is not going to be affected by these cold nights. That water temperature is way overrated this time of year.
Explain that.
People put way too much emphasis into that surface temperature when it's not that big of a factor. It really isn't. Again, down in the depths, especially where some of these other guys like Casey Ashley and Mike Iaconelli, they're fishing deeper, that water temperature doesn't change. These fish are definitely affected by the fronts. They feel the low pressure and the high pressure, but the water temperature, they're used to it. It's been stable, and you can get these fish to bite a moving bait like that.
Still watching Randy Howell live, a critical miss a few minutes ago. Kevin, before this tournament, we were talking about how this lake was going to set up, and the first day of this tournament, guys were catching fish on boat docks, 5 foot of water, 2 feet of water, all the way into about 10 inches, and you made the statement, I do not care how cold the water is throughout this country. When we have longer days, they're coming. Does not matter the temp.
It's all about the time of the year. You know, this is the time of the year when the fish are staging and they're setting up. They're thinking about moving up to spawn, and they're going to be up there even when the water temperature is cold. I mean, we had the first really hard patch of winter this past week. I mean, these are record all-time lows for this area, and yet these fish are still up there. That just goes to show you that you know, that water temperature is really overrated. The fish know what they need to be doing. They're just going to wait out these fronts, but they're not leaving. They don't leave, especially largemouths. They're going to stay in the area a lot more. Spotted bass are a lot more apt to move. They travel a lot. They're like our smallmouths that we have at home. But these largemouths, once they make that transition up to that shallower zone, they're not swimming back out to 50 foot of water again. They're going to stay up there around the bank until they actually spawn.
Michael Iaconelli live out there, needs about 7-8 pounds in order to gain the lead. Started out this day in third place, just really less than a pound and some ounces out of first place.
He's another angler that he knows what's going on. He knows the time of the day. He's feeling the pressure, and he's fishing with a lot of intensity. I mean, 1 or 2 bites, I mean, what happens when you get that opportunity can change the whole day for you. You know, we saw that the first day. You know, Mike finally got into an area. He caught a couple of good fish, and then it changed his day.
There's a bunch of these around here, so next 2 or 3 places we'll hit will set up like this, be more breaks. Yeah, we're, you know, after that last fish, I'm making a commitment now to just do this. We're going to stay out deep. We're going to keep this jig in our hands. If I don't get another bite, this is what I need to do to win. You know, this is the classic. This isn't a points tournament. I'm not worried about filling my limit out with 2-pounders. I need 2 or 3 4 to 5 pounders. I got 3 hours to do it. This is my best chance.
Brutally slow for Michael Iaconelli, but the good side for him is he's still short of a limit, still got some more headroom, as they say, in his score to get himself back into it. Casey Ashley still on top, 2.5-pound lead for Takahiro Amori. Iaconelli, Brett Hite still hanging in there in the top 5, not making any big moves, but Jacob Poroznik coming from outside the top 10. That's a shocker there, and really just some very fast work for him early this morning.
Exactly right. If you look at Poroznik, he throttled him yesterday and today, that first hour window, and that we basically lost that on day number 1. I'm going to tell you the angler up there that got hurt the worst by the delay in this tournament was Jacob Poroznik.
Yeah, we talked to him, you know, after practice, and he knew that he had to be there right out there early. That was his best opportunity. He was getting a lot of bites quick, and he's really made it happen. You know, the leaderboard right there shows what it is, but I think his fish might be just a shade bigger than that. I think that leaderboard is
No, basically
actually,
what you said is that you've already heard something.
Yeah, he's got a really good bag. We got Randy hooked up. No, to a tree.
Yeah, for some fishing line.
Kevin, this morning, Casey, Ashley, we talk about Porosnik.
Yeah,
We
I won't hit that one over there.
We finally got to see
I'm
a
gonna throw her
jerkbait
that
fish
way as I
caught.
turn and go that way.
Mike Iaconelli caught a fish on a jerkbait, that deep Rapala shadow rep. Those were the first fish we have seen the entire week on a jerkbait. Why has that never transpired?
Well, the biggest thing is we haven't had any wind any one of the days. And, you know, for the jerkbait to be really strong for me this time of the year, you've got to have some wind or you got to have some current. You got to have something that's going to get those fish up in the water column, get the bait moving. And that just really hasn't transpired at all. And I really thought today we were going to have a little more wind. We might even have some rain, and that's when the jerkbait was really going to come into play. I expected the guys that were power fishing, that were fishing down the bank, the way Skeet was fishing, covering those docks, the way Randy's fishing, to really have a good day. But the conditions are just not, I mean, they're not just good enough. These fish can see so well on a cloudy day in this clear water with no wind. They really see that bait real well. And Randy's had, you know, some success. He's been getting some bites, but the fish are not eating the bait well. They're just barely getting the bait. Their bites are mushy, and they're just not taking it real deep, and it's hard to land them like that. He lost a big fish a little while ago. He lost one the first day. And like I said, when you're a power fisherman like that, that's just part of the cost of doing business.
All right, Kevin, you have been in this position before in tight turn. In fact, one of the tightest classics we've ever had. Talk about what is going through the mind of guys that know. And here's the thing. The anglers that are in the top 5 right now, they know they're in the top 5. There are little things that go on the water in these tournaments. What is going through their head? What's the process right now?
Well, I can tell you, we're sitting here watching it live, and I'm feeling it too. So I know they're feeling it. I can see it in their body language. They all know that they're right there, and it's just one decision, one spot, one bite that can turn the tide in their favor. And they all know, or a lot of those guys know how important, or they know what the stage is right here and what it'd be like to win the Classic. You know, Casey Ashley, a lot of pressure on him coming into here being the favorite, and yet he's persevered every single day. He's been solid every day. Jacob Porosnik, I mean, he's a rookie to our tour, but he's not a rookie. And he knows, I mean, he's grown up watching the Bassmasters Classics. He knows how important it would be and what it would do for his career. Of course, Randy Howell and Mike Iaconelli, both of those guys have won before. Skeet Reese, they've won. They know the intensity of what it takes and what you have to do mentally on the final day to get it done.
Okay, so you've been able to look at the techniques. You're looking at the players that are in it right now. Who do you give the nod to with the weather that we have going on the water right now?
Well, this guy right here is one that I picked him from the beginning. I saw what he was doing the first day, and every day he's been consistent. The thing for Casey is that he's just got to get that bigger bite. You know, he's just got to be able to get a 4 or 5 pound fish to add to his creel, and it's going to be, you know, game over, lights out, I think. But some of these other guys are fishing a lot shallower where there's more largemouth at, and if you pull into the right area, the right pocket where there's some herring at, and those fish are moved up, you can get well in a hurry. That's exactly what Skeet did the first day.
Out to Dean Rojas now.
Always
We're going to
saying
look at
that.
Casey Ashley there.